Hi guys, so yeah, my hair looks like crap, has its own mind. Yeah, I've been not looking more myself over the past while, chop my hair off, things like that. Today I had a nurse come in and not even verify whether my daughter had all her supplies. Actually, she did verify and still went ahead, did my daughter's blood work, things like that. We've been asking social workers, I've been trying to advocate for years, I mean years, for help. The right help for all the things that we have to take on through our situations. And I mean, we got slammed with so much and so much negligence of the right help. So we didn't have the finances. We don't have insurance. We've been trying to get all this stuff, been asking children's services, social workers, everybody. We literally called. Hugo put me on the street because he didn't know what to do anymore. Literally put me on the street because he doesn't know what to do with our situation, because everybody keeps telling us our situation is so complex they don't know how to help us. We have no medical insurance for our daughter. So I was not able to pick up her heparin, which is something that's supposed to flush through her IVAD, that when you do blood work, it flushes it through so it doesn't get blocked. But the nurse was well aware we had no heparin and made it clear that we need to get the heparin because it's going to get blocked. And I made it clear because she didn't take communication time to talk to us and say, while we're in the home, and say, oh, you guys don't have the money until the 20th. Okay, to get this heparin. I just gave my last $2 to a homeless man. So she says, well, since you guys don't have anything, you're going to have to admit your daughter in the hospital and we're going to have to put her in there. And I said, no, you're going to have to take accountability for your actions this time. The hospital, the staff, the negligence, these are the reasons why me and Hugo have hit rock bottom and are stressed. Is because nobody takes accountability in the Stollery Hospital or anywhere for any of their actions, but they will look, oh, she committed suicide before? Let's deem her crazy. Let's have her escorted by 2 security guards and a social worker and say that she's suicidal by her daughter's bedside. Put her in, but thankfully I was diagnosed by 3 psychiatrists with spinal muscular or PTSD. We got to know what PTSD was, and that was the good outcome of it. This is what I'm saying. It's easier to deem someone something or label them than actually do your real job. I will read you exactly. I don't think I can because I have to go back to my phone. And her comment is, well, we're going to have to admit her and you guys are going to lose your kids and blah, blah, blah. Well, where was the supports when we've been asking for you guys to work and help us as hard as we have been trying to work as parents? To get my daughter's eye gaze so she can communicate with people, to get the things that my kids need, or to get the medical things or the medical advice or the medical, we did training. We've done all of this stuff. And now the system wants to come down on us. I went in for suicide and I was let go 8 days later after 2 days of being in there because they took my phone away the very first 5 minutes I was in there. Said I was going to get it back the very next day. And they took my phone away. And they said, don't worry, it's just for overnight. Next day comes, don't ask for my phone. Nobody gives it back. And I'm like, can I have my phone? Well, we still got to wait for the doctor. Well, you guys said you're going to give it back to me today. Doctor comes around 2 days later. Never read my charts whatsoever. Just got a brief on me. That was it. Didn't call my neurologist, didn't call my doctor. But was ignorant when I said, I don't understand why you're holding my phone. I never even had the opportunity to give you reason to take it. Really, realistically. I walked in the door, you took my phone, and that was it. And we haven't met since. Next time we meet, you tell me, I don't think so. Not even like that. It was like, I don't think so. And looked at me like this. Treated me like disgust. I went in to a hospital for suicide attempts because I'm suicidal and I needed help. And the right supports. I got some supports. Some of the supports were really good. Then they shipped me off into a program that doesn't even work for me, knowing that I can't do groups. Got me put back on volunteer. So the application that I appealed for to have my own voice on what happened to me. 6 security guards attacked me, slammed my head into another bed. I was telling them, what are you going to inject me with? Because obviously you're not going to be happy when you see 6 security guards show up at a door and you're like, look, just give me space. I'm claustrophobic. I've got all this going on. I've had traumas. I've had so much abuse happen to me since I was a child. Please do not come near me and touch me because I can't tolerate it emotionally. I'm here for mental help for this situation. Nope, they jumped to me. One security guard, no listening, grabbed me by the arm. I was bruised all over my body. Slammed down to the ground. Hit the ground. Who cares? Who cares that even happened to me? None of you do. I have stated it, publicly posted it. I have talked about it, but nobody cares because Lisa's crazy. That's it. That's all I am. I'm someone who smokes marijuana, someone who smokes pot, and I'm crazy. That is it. I would like to see where any one of you people stand today if you were to actually do anything that I have done. Advocate for my daughter's rights of education. Advocate for her rights for oxygen. Advocate for the rights for my son who has ADHD to be in a normal classroom because it's the teachers who are not teaching properly. Because nobody takes the time to see what is the trigger. My son became honorable mentions, by the way, when I got him out of the behavioral classroom. Made his way. Because you know what? I took time to advocate. I look crazy. God, I look crazy. I know I do. But to have a nurse sit there and tell me that, I should be, when she didn't even do her job properly herself in the first place. Okay, love you. Sorry, it's not good. It's, lunchtime. So we had to feed, go, and then I get this message. Well, we're going to have to. Well, why did you give her the heparin in the first place if you could not? No, she didn't have the medication and we have to wait a few more days. Why can't you be that nurse to say, look, this family's gone through a lot and they shouldn't be in this position and we are the ones that did this to them. And we did not do our jobs right. We did not give the family the supports they needed. Yes, we've given other families. Other families look great. The ones that, get to go do the radio shows with the Stollery. The ones that they really pamper and highlight and that have finances and all that stuff. The ones that look good. But to tell me after everything I've gone through, everything we take out of our pocket to help with the healthcare system. Yes, my daughter maybe shouldn't be here. Yes, my daughter shouldn't be. But my daughter has a right to life too, has a purpose, has a reason. We have medical science so we can grow so that when you have a heart attack, we can find out what's going on in the genetics of it. And we learn from people who have genetic issues. My house is in foreclosure. We have no insurance. I have no house insurance. I have no medical insurance anymore because we ran out of finances. I applied for CPP. The government told me and dragged it on for so long to the time limit of my expiration of 4 days being out of work. Too long then. 4 years I was out of work. Too long. That's how long they dragged my application. It was over 2 years. And I'd been out of by then because of a year of mat leave and go on. Couldn't even get my own CPP. So I keep applying for Alberta Works. I keep applying for this. I keep doing that. I keep trying to navigate. I gave up my job, my career, my home, everything. I was a nursing aide. I took care of people's grandparents, for God's sakes. I took care of people's parents, for God's sakes. I was there when I was collapsing, when we had to transition people, and when there was only a very few people on the floor. I mean, I worked my ass off for so long, and all people want to do is, oh, well, you got to pick yourself up. And I try. I have kids. I can't just pack my bag and walk out the door like most people who tell me to get my shit together and do this. They don't have any kids. So what the fuck are you giving me information about? It's easy for you to walk away. Do you have a child hanging on to life support right now? I shouldn't have to. Me and Hugo shouldn't even have to be in this position, but we are because we had these kids, 3 kids that were blocked from us, brainwashed, told that their dad left them for my son, all this stuff. And we never got the ability or chance because we didn't have the finances and resources to be able to have those children too. So we lost all those memories, all those years, my children, everybody. Who cares about that? But we're crazy and we have issues. This is what I'm talking about, YouTube. It's easier to put blame and take someone's medical situation and just keep spiraling it until you get what you want out of it. So you do not have to be equivalent for the healthcare errors that you make yourself. Why did you do my daughter's blood work if you knew there was no heparin? And then try to turn it around and blame it on me when we told you we did not have it yet. No, I don't have all the medications. No, I don't have all of this. No, I don't have Blue Cross. Where was the social worker making sure my application was done? Better to talk with them and sit and have a coffee with them, because that's easier to do. They should just be therapists, half of them, most of the social workers, because all they do is go talk to that social worker. I don't know what to do with you, so go talk to that social worker. Go to that social worker. Go to that OT. Go to that therapist. I am fucking done with therapists. I am done with the 5 or 6 or 7 different social workers I deal with. Why is it so complex? Because we're too loud? Because I don't stand down to your standards? Because I didn't play by the hospital's rules? Because I spoke up on behalf of someone's life? My daughter's life? Then I lost my son because I was a hypochondriac. I wrote every single symptom my son had, and I was a medical worker with medical knowledge who was medically ignored, regardless whether I was a mom or not. Obviously, I had medical knowledge because I have a daughter who's spinal muscular atrophy type 1, who is medically complex, medically fragile. And all I ever hear is, well, your son was medical complex, so, it was really hard. Well, majority of the children that go to that doctor's office are medical complex and medical fragile, but he still figures their shit out. And doesn't tell them they're a hypochondriac, because when he makes a wrong call that they die, and all of a sudden, oh, you're a hypochondriac because you've been saying your son was sick and I ignored you. But I'm wrong. And there is no justice for that, but I have to suffer every day the death of my son because of the medical ignorance in our system. And everybody would rather deem me crazy than start stepping forward for their actions, like Carol, the dietitian, who wrote in her charts, "Oh, Mom is crazy. Step up, Carol. Tell them the truth why I was angry that day. Tell them why I drove 5 hours to Edmonton. Tell them the truth and that you lied. Tell them why I was angry. Tell them what I was fighting for. Because it was my daughter's life, not yours, mine. You put up a Ukrainian flag on your post about Ukrainian lives. I am Ukrainian. Just like you can't believe what it feels like to go and pay for charting and to see someone say, we don't know why Mom drove all the way here upset like this. We booked a meeting with her and told her to come for the BiPAP fitting mask. And then we denied it, but we don't know why she was mad. The ignorance in our medical systems. I had a police officer tell me I was pathetic when I'm suicidal. Mock me because of my neurological issues, when I'm angry and upset, and when I'm uncomfortable around people, and when I don't know what is going to happen in the situation. My phone was dead. I had no battery. I had no one I could call. I was trying to charge my phone and he kept yelling at me to get out. And I was like, I'm trying to charge my phone. These are my kids. I am the primary caregiver. You have no clue what the situation is about. And the officer started going on about how I was crazy, pathetic, mentally ill, when I told him to ask and verify with my daughter, who is nonverbal but can still verify yes or no because she's mentally there in mine, because they asked everybody in the home about the situation, but they didn't ask my daughter. And I told them, you did not ask her about the abuse going on in the home. He told me I was pathetic and how dare you, and on and on and on. But you talked to my 10-year-old about it. What's the difference between my 14-year-old who is there mentally, only her body is different? So why was I pathetic and wrong for you to ask and talk to my daughter? Because you talked to the other one. You didn't talk to my nurse who sees everything that goes on in this home. Or nurses who watched us go from this amazing family. We were amazing family. I was an amazing family once. And that's what I wanted. I come from this childhood drama, and I remember sitting there, and one of my friends had asked me one day, don't you want to get married? Don't you want to have children? And I wanted to say yes, but I wanted to tell him no. Because I didn't want this shit in my life. I didn't want to do this to my kids. I didn't want to end up like my parents. I'm sitting there fighting to get my mom into, supports and programs and helps. And I'm basically told, you know what? Sign off your power of attorney and the government will take over, and then you have no say what happens to her. That woman lived through Ukrainian depression, wars. Their families went through hell, and the government wants to take her over because they don't want to give the family proper supports to help their family. They would rather take it all over. Like the one officer told me, and this is horrible to say, but it's true. It's cheaper to pick them up out of the ditches than it is to help you. Let that sink in. That's what our society has built.